on each and every topic. Okay. So first thing is communication. So any software engineering process will have a certain framework where all the 5 attributes will be there. Communication, planning, second thing planning, modeling, construction and deployment. So you can correlate with your design thinking all the 5 stages I had already mentioned. Okay, so please always remember in that way. So what do you mean by a process? A process is a collection of work, activities, action and task set. Okay, so for this also I have given you the definition individually. Work, activities, action and task set. What are all the things we do to perform a particular project or to complete a particular project? Suppose we consider a project which is of a agriculture domain. We consider a project of a agriculture domain. So to complete that particular project, what are all the steps we will be taking and how we are going to execute each and every step. Okay, to complete that, what are all the tasks we need to complete, which means that may be our software side or a hardware side or it may be the field work, or what are all the tasks we need to do to complete that particular project. Okay, so anytime we talk about a process to complete a project will include activities, actions and the task set. Okay, so 2 things we have discussed now. One is the software engineering framework. So irrespective of the project what we are considering, all the 5 things will be there. And again, when we consider any project, so it will be having a set of activities, actions and a task set. So now we are going to see the software process framework with all these actions, activities and task set. Just a generic model only. It will look like this only, whatever it may be the project. So when you consider any software process framework, we can say just a process framework. A process framework. So it may have a framework, activity, so many activities you may have. Framework, activity 1. So framework, activity 1. So this will be having software engineering activity and a set of tasks, task set. So this task set may be defined by work, task, work, product, quality assurance points, and project milestones. So when we talk about tasks, as I mentioned, number of activities will be there, a number of actions on each activity and task set for each and every activity of the entire project or the process. Okay, your task set normally will be having a work task. It may be the work what we are going to do. It may be the work product, like the product how it is going to be, or it may be about quality assurance points. Okay, depending upon the product, the quality assurance may vary. If it is a hardware like wooden materials we are using, we need to check the wood quality. And then when we are joining 2 parts, let us assume it is a table. Okay, so table, that board will be there and then 4 legs will be there. So joining part also has to be, the quality has to be checked. Maybe the board is legs are very strong, but when they join together, it was not done properly. So obviously when you keep more weight on that, it may fall down, it may break. Okay, so the quality assurance points, depending upon the project, if it is a specs or mobile phone, depending upon each and every product, what kind of quality check has to be taken place of that particular product. Those things have to be defined. And then project milestones, like what is the deadline for this particular project, or what is the challenges for this project, or what is the competitor of that. So I will have an objective. Okay, towards that only this project work will travel. Okay, so this is what I need to achieve. What should be the milestone of that particular project? All those things will be defined within a task set. So here we are talking about framework activity 1, in which one is software engineering activity and then task sets. Similarly, for the same, I can have another software engineering activity. Suppose it is named as 1, so this could be named as 1.1, 1.2 and so on. Different, so many software engineering activities. It doesn't mean that when we are doing a project there will be only one activity. It may be a collection of activities. So each and every activity will be having all those things. So like that I have a set of software engineering activities. So it may go till A. So this also will be having a task set with all the parameters. The parameter you need to define depending upon that. Again, I take one example. We are considering 4 departments. Okay, so CSE, IT, ECE and mechanical, right? So we are doing some automation of all the departments, like e-library we are trying to generate, like everything will be available in that particular software itself. Okay, so first when I start this, ECE will be having a set of subjects which will not match with the CSE or IT subjects. Mechanical will be having a different set of subjects which will not be same as our CSE and IT. Even CSE and IT also, we may not expect 100% same subjects will be there. Subjects may vary. So those things have to be kept separately on each and every department. And then lab, when we consider, we will be having all as computer based lab only, whereas if it is mechanical, for them survey, many machines lab, so many labs are there. Similarly, electronics means they will have a different lab setup. Okay, so activity could be the first activity. This is a complete automation of our own organization, that is our project. Okay, so the first could be for the CSE department, second could be for the electronics, third could be for the mechanical. So depending upon that, my objective may vary and my task set may vary. Get my point? So we are and the entire thing comes under framework activity 1. Framework activity 1 itself are having this much, or even you can imagine your own software ERP we are using. Okay, so one purpose is attendance. You are able to check your attendance every now and then, and finally every period also you are able to see the attendance percentage. So attendance, maintaining the attendance is one domain. Another thing is that your class test mark, your CDAT you had. Okay, so CDAT mark was entered in that, and your CAT 1, CAT 2 marks were entered in that. Okay, so to maintain the marks and all, that may be another framework activity. Whatever we are keeping for the attendance, that may not be same for the mark. So for that the framework may vary. The base will be of all those 5 attributes only, but depending upon the requirement, the terminologies will be varying. Okay, so this is our general framework, process framework you can say. So I have given framework activity 1. Like that I can have any number of frameworks. This may be framework activity N. Activity N. So irrespective of the number of frameworks or what type of framework, the attributes what we are using inside may be vary. Okay. See, we say timetable. Okay. So each hour we may say it is a period. Some people may say that is a session. Okay. So we are having one session as 1 hour. In some places it may be some 45 minutes. Some places it may be 40 minutes. But the framework is same. A day is organized by a set of hours. That hour is not 60 minutes. It may be 60 minutes or 45 minutes or 40 minutes. But the classes are organized in such a way that number of sessions will be there where theory and practicals will be given. Okay, fine. So whatever we had discussed so far is just a process framework. How exactly the process could be. Now the list of things in this task set or in the process is process flow. Process flow. How the flow has to be taken. Like first activity 1 has to be defined, and then task set. Within the task set, these 4 things have to be in the order we will have to execute it, or in any order we can process. Not only this, we have the framework attributes 5: communication, planning, modeling, construction and deployment. Those 5 have to be considered linearly or in the non-linear fashion, or it could be iterative manner, or it could happen parallelly. So depending upon that, the process flow is classified as various types. Okay, various types. So whenever we talk about this, you need to remember activity, action and task set. Each process will have all these things. We can say a process is a collection of activities, action and task set. When we talk about framework, it is comprised of communication. Communication, like to whom we are going to do a project, or who is assigning me the project, who are all the stakeholders of that particular project. Okay, so depending upon that, we need to establish a communication. Suppose I am establishing a project, I am creating a project to only one person or to one organization. Okay, so I may have to consult only with the head of the organization, though it is going to be used by the students of the college or the employees of the college. It doesn't require or necessary that everybody has to communicate with the one who is developing the project. Okay, the conditions or the constraints might be provided by the head of the institution. Based on that, the project may be developed. You get my point? So when you are going to do any project, you will know that to whom you are going to supply that particular project. So that will be to the head of the institution or organization, or to a single person, or to a hospital, or to a school, whatever it may be, to whom you are going to communicate, or you are going to distribute to 4 different kind of people. If that is the case, you need to communicate with all the 4 people, and they may have little constraint, like one may not be suitable as it is to others. Okay, so based on that, we may have to make few changes on the project and supply to them. You get my point? So the first attribute, communication, is required because we are going to develop a project to the people or to a group of people to whom we are going to supply the project. We need to establish a communication. The communication may be over phone, or it may be mail or WhatsApp or anything. Through any mode of communication, we can have a conversation, communication between the project developer and the people who are going to use. Okay, fine. So now we'll see the process flow. So there are various types of process flow. Let us start with a linear process flow. A linear process flow. What do you understand from this? See, this is being defined by those 5 attributes only: communication, planning, modeling, construction and deployment. How we are going to use those 5 attributes? Based on that, this is being defined. So the very simple, the straightforward method is a linear process flow. Means what? One after the other, the process will be taken place. Correct? So first you have to do communication. Next you have to do planning. Next you have to do modeling. Yeah. In such a way we have to do. So first will be communication. Communication. So after the communication only we will do planning. After planning only we can do modeling. After that, construction. Then it's going to be deployment. So you yourself will be able to give a explanation for this, or please note down. A linear process flow executes each of the 5 framework activities. A linear process flow executes each of the 5 framework activities in sequence. In sequence. In sequence. Beginning with the communication. Beginning with the communication and culminating with deployment. Culminating with deployment. Starting with the communication till the deployment, it goes on sequence. So if you look at the diagram, you can understand. So you start, first step is communication. Once it is done, only we move to planning. Once it is completed, then we move on to modeling, and then construction and deployment. So one after the other will happen as sequence. It is called a linear process flow. The second method is called an iterative process flow. An iterative process flow. So you know what is iterative. Suppose if any particular activity has to be repeated after certain stage, you want to go back to another stage and do the same. It is possible with this. Suppose I have modeling. This modeling needs to be repeated again. Modeling needs to be repeated. So after this planning, I would like to go back to the communication again. So the normal flow is there. In addition to that, after moving on to the planning stage, okay, so I decide to go back to the communication. I have some confusion. Planning, I am trying to generate ideas, but there I have a doubt. So again I may go to communication. Once again I clarify all my doubts, and then I go back to planning. So modeling, I do modeling and the construction, but here when I come to this stage, I feel like my modeling is not working. Now I did one type of prototype. Okay, after doing that model of prototype, I feel like I'm not satisfied much. Okay, so I go with some other type. So I can go back to the model. Not only these stages, it could be of any stage. Before the deployment, you can repeat any stages. Randomly I have given iteration here. Okay, so any stage can be repeated. So what is the meaning of this? An iterative process flow. If any particular framework activity needs to be repeated at any stage, it is possible with this model. Okay, though initially we say that it is sequence, but after reaching to a particular level, any stage can be repeated. Take down. An iterative process flow repeats one or more of the activities before proceeding to the next. So here, after communication, I have come to planning. I am supposed to move on to modeling, but I have some confusion. So I am going back to communication. Before I could proceed further towards modeling, I am repeating again communication and planning. Whereas in evolution, one complete, you reach the deployment, once again you start with the first stage. Okay, circular fashion we are connecting. An evolutionary process flow organizes the activities in a circular manner. Activities in a circular manner. So this is your communication. Planning. Modeling. Construction. Deployment. Okay, listen. Communication, planning, modeling, construction and deployment. This is the normal sequence. Okay. So if everything is fine, no problem, you can just exit. You can deploy the project or the product. With that the process will get over. Suppose you want to repeat, redo, or you want to repeat the same thing for another module. As I mentioned, we are doing automation on 4 departments. Okay, so first department you did everything. Again for the second department you start from communication, planning, model. Same thing is going to be repeated in the cyclic manner. We are doing the process. So this is applicable normally for the same thing you are doing for various departments, various community, various group of people. Clear? So communication, planning, modeling, construction, deployment, and then you repeat the thing or you can conclude there itself. If you are going to do like for the last department, as we had planned for 4 departments, first department you are completing, repeating, second, third, fourth. When you come to fourth, you have to conclude. After that again and again it cannot be in the cycle. The cycle has to be broken some way. So that's the reason this mark is also given. This model is called evolutionary process flow model. So the last one is a parallel process flow. A parallel process flow. Parallel parallel processing in general. Have you ever heard about parallel processing? What do you mean by that? More than one things are happening parallelly, correct? See, like you are doing your lab. One batch will be doing data structure lab, other batch will be doing OOPS lab parallelly. Parallelly, 2 group of people will be doing 2 different work. Okay, so the work is being divided into 2. Suppose I want to perform mathematical some computation where some 4 segments are there. Keertana, what do you want? The last girl. You have Keertana only, no? So all the 4, I don't have time to complete one after the other. What I do, I just divide and give it to 4 groups of people. You perform addition and you perform subtraction, multiplication and division. So all the 4 things will be doing it parallelly. So that at the end I can integrate all the 4. The time taken to complete the entire task will be reduced. And that is again one of the very important processing method in our CPU. Parallel processing. system, pipeline processing, all those things we will be studying later. Okay, when we are studying all the core subjects. So here what is the parallel process flow? So as I mentioned, same example you can take automation of the whole institution where 4 departments are considered. Okay, so for one department, the team who are expert in attendance are working on, and at the same time for the other department, the team who are expert on internal marks may work on. Okay, and for the third department, maybe there are 4 different domains in that particular project. So for the next department, other experts, other domain may be functioning parallelly. So we don't have to wait, like all the 4 will be happening independently, parallelly. Later we can integrate it. Okay, so like that only even project, the modules will be divided. So each module will be given to a team of people. So everybody will be doing parallelly. Finally they will integrate. Or for some projects, parallel processing, though it is a parallel processing, that may not be taken as it is. Their pipeline processing is required. It's like one team's output is taken as an input to the next team, and that team has to produce output only, then that can be taken as an input to other. If that is the case, they will have to wait. So part of the process could be completed. So for the entire completion, they have to wait. But if it is a parallel processing, just parallel, it's not pipeline. So independently, they can all work. The task can be given to individual team can work parallelly, independently. Okay, so for that only, now we are going to see the model. Before to that, take down a parallel process flow executes one or more activities in parallel with other activities. Parallel in other activities. So the diagram which can depict that will be, it is not a standard one, because I am going to give parallel for few activities. That few can vary. So communication, planning, listen. See here, normal flow will be communication, after that planning, after that modeling. So for one process it is happening like that. For some other process, they might have done these 3 steps. Okay, after that they would have gone to communication. They don't have any problem with the planning, but they only have a problem with communication. They have designed a model, they have made some prototype, and they want to communicate to the people to whom they are going to supply the project. Okay, so they are taking some feedback or something like that, feedback, survey, interview, anything, and that will be again impact over here. That will be considered for the modeling. Okay, so modeling for 2 different domains it is happening. So one is a normal flow, other one is already it is done, which has gone to communication. From there again the input is given. So 2 different things are parallelly given to the modeling. So this may be for one project and this may be for another another project, or this may be for one module, this may be for another module, parallelly for two different things. Okay, at the same time, when this is happening for some other process has moved into construction and deployment. It's like very simple example you can take. Manufacturing the soap. Okay, so for any other product we can consider, but simple soap or biscuit, something like that we can take. So the material will be considered. Okay, so that mix and everything, and whatever the temperature has to be maintained for that, all that. That is one team will be doing all the mixture part. Okay, another team will be putting it in the mold, right? Another team will be putting it in the mold. So everything will not happen in the single team itself. One team will be creating the mixture, another team will be putting it in the mold, another team will be preparing the wrapper. Okay, so over that there will be one wrapper. After that, once again with all that seal and beam, manufacturing with everything, so that will be done by one team. So all the four teams will be functioning parallelly. Suppose the first 100 soaps, the first team is done, mixture is done, mold is also, part is over, and then the first level wrapper is created. Then the final stage. So the people who are working on the outer wrapper, they will be working on the first 100 soaps. At the same time, the internal wrapper. Okay, so next 100 soaps will be with this people. Next 100 will be with the mold people. The fourth 100 will be with the creation of mixture. See that like all the four teams are functioning parallelly. They are able to do 400 at that time. When you see the progress of the soap manufacturing, 400 soaps under progress, whereas completion state has reached only 100. After certain period of time, another 100 will be ready for the release. After certain period of time, next 100. Like that only the process will be taken place. So at that time, three different tasks are happening. So one is in planning, other one is in modeling, third one is in construction. Clear? So when we are doing automation of four departments, one department may be in planning, other one may be in modeling, other one may be in construction, other one may be in deployment. So all the four are happening parallelly. Any work will be done like that only. So this is about various process flow models. You can just go through all the diagram. If you are having any doubt, you can ask. We are going to proceed with the next topic. Right. So we'll go back to the framework activities. So how do we define a framework activity? Depending upon the project, framework activity will be defined. Right? Depending upon, though there are only 5 attributes in that, depending upon the project only, what kind of framework activities are required will be planned. Okay, some may involve hardware, some may involve only software, some may involve only some systems. Okay, so depends upon what type of project we are involving, the framework activities will vary. Again, depending upon the stakeholders, framework activities need to be defined separately. Okay, so as I mentioned, if the project is designed to a particular person, you only need to have a communication to only that particular person. That may happen over phone. You can just ring him up and check this is what you require. Yeah, so you want this particular feature in that. Like that, they may say some constraint to that. They may give some of their requirements. Based on that, you can do it. Okay, say I am doing some work here. For example, I am making a timetable. Okay, and I I check with the in charge who is for IAP. I just ask ma'am at what time you are putting schedule for IAP, whether it is going to be in the morning session or afternoon session. Then I will be checking whether suppose you are going to other department to access their lab. So I will be checking with them at what time the lab will be available. So Monday at what time I can schedule for the lab. Tuesday at what time I can schedule for the lab. When the lab is free, when the teachers are free, then I can make a schedule. Like I will be asking their requirements when I do some work. Okay. So to whom I am going to give the project. So the timetable will be for the students, but it involves all the faculties too. So I need to consider all those constraints. Based on that only I can design something. Okay. So the first activity of the framework is communication. To whom I need to communicate. Finally, so I have a great plan. I have this software. I have this operating system. So I am very expert in doing so on so forth. Whether it is suitable to you, whether you will be able to afford that particular thing. Okay. So I make a project which can be understood by the college students. But if I deploy the same to the school students, that to primary students, they will not be able to understand. So to whom I am going to supply that project, whether it is going to be useful to them, right? So the project what I am making may be useful to the private schools. But if I am planning it for the government school, whether they will be able to afford that particular project or else. Those things and all have to be planned in the communication stage itself, framework activity itself. Second thing is, so this thing normally communication will be established through phone conversation, or if it is a very complicated task where multiple customers are involved, different types of customers are involved, same product. Okay, so when I give it to the city people, like you can see the textile itself or the clothing and all. Okay, so here same cloth, if it is a very big mall, okay, branded showroom, the cost of that will be too high. The same quality may vary, okay, same pattern, same kind of thing may be available in some other shop where all kind of people will be able to purchase. Okay, so manufacturing is a common domain or the project, but to whom it is going to be given, based on that, that has to be manufactured, and the price also has to be fixed for that only. The communication is very, very important. So when the project has been designed for a very complicated task where the multiple or different kind of customers are involved, the action may encompasses as take down. First, we need to make contact with the stakeholder. We need to make contact with the stakeholder. What are all the steps we follow? Okay, in the communication when it is a complicated task. When it is a very simple task where only one customer is involved, just a telephonic conversation is more than enough. When it is a complicated task where multiple kind of customers are involved, there the communication should encompass make contact with the stakeholder via telephone. Second, discuss the requirements and take notes. Discuss the requirements and take notes. These things exactly similar to your empathy. Third, organize notes into a brief, a written statement. Organize notes into a brief written statement of requirements. Email to stakeholder for review and approval. This is again applicable for even a single customer also. These are all the basic points. In addition to that, if the project is too complex, we involve inception, where multiple customers are involved, all these steps will be incorporated into the basic 4 steps. Okay. So next comes to identifying a task set. Identifying a task set, again there is no predefined thing for this. Depending upon the project, what are all the things we need to do, that needs to be identified. Okay. So next, process pattern. Process pattern. How I am going to do process pattern. It describes a process related. It describes a process related problem that is encountered during. It describes process pattern. Describes a process related problems that is encountered during software engineering work. Software engineering work. Identifies the environment. Identifies the environment in which the problem has been encountered. And suggest one or more proven solutions. To the problem. So this pattern can be defined at any level of abstraction, like it may be for communication or it may be for a deployment. For any level of your framework activity, pattern can be described. Pattern means what? Like I have only Windows. Windows is an operating system, but you are providing me one project which I am not able to work in that. That is the problem encountered. How do I resolve? So obviously I need to create a project where it is environment compatible, operating system compatible. Irrespective of the operating system what I use, I should be able to work with your project. Clear? So on any level of your framework activity, you need to identify the problem. What can be the problem with this? If the problem is identified, propose a solution for this. So normally the pattern can be given at any level, starting from the communication till the deployment. So the pattern could be described on various ways, or we can say there is a common template using which the pattern could be, process pattern could be described. So there will be a pattern name. So it's like the terms only will be like very difficult. It's not like that. You conduct a technical interview or you are conducting a technical review. So technical review is the pattern name I give, under which I will define what are all the things I will have to do in the technical review. Okay. So in the technical review, what kind of problems could be identified? So I will give a name called unit testing. So unit testing can be done on a particular unit or a module. So in that, what are all the flaws can be identified. So that should not be confused with some other kind of testing. If it is unit testing, this can do only this, through which I can identify only this much. Clear? You have a normal calculator, okay, and you have a scientific calculator. Using a normal calculator, which will be used in some shop and all, provisionary shop and all, they will be like small shops. They will be using a small calculator that is only for the addition, subtraction, or even sometimes for division. Correct? Addition, multiplication, subtraction, division, not more than that. Correct? Whereas your scientific calculator, using which any scientific calculation can be done. So when I say calculator, normal simple calculator, it can do only this much only. You can't expect sin 30, cos 30 and all. Log value I cannot find out from the normal calculator. So that will be defined here. You need to give a specific name for that.